A very good morning, students. Today is the last session for Romeo and Juliet. So, the first session we have discussed about the story. In the second session, I have explained the lesson assigned for PU2, and today will be the last session for Romeo and Juliet, right? Perhaps more than the story, it is important that how you represent yourself, your idea in paper, right? For this regarding this subject. So let us brush up once. That is, I believe that all of you are sitting with your book. So let us brush up the first stanza. In the first stanza, that is, Act 1, Scene 5, Romeo's Soliloquy. So, in the soliloquy, the star-crossed lover is expressing his, love for Juliet. So, what he says? He is, captivated by the divine beauty of Juliet, and he started comparing Juliet's beauty with some other objects, right? So here we can see in every stanza, in every line, the sense of comparison lies, and that is very, very important. I told you in the figurative language, that means metaphoric way, or by using simile, personification, it is enriched with the figurative language. So what Romeo feels for Juliet, how she looks like. Romeo feels that she shows the torches how to burn bright. That means her beauty is brighter than the torch, right? That means her demeanor, her angelic beauty, that is, more than the torch, right? So Juliet, shows the torches how to burn bright. She stands out against the darkness like a jeweled earring hanging against the cheek of an African. I told you the Ethiopian, their skin color is on the darker side. So as the dazzling jewel sparkles on the earlobe of an Ethiopian, the beauty of Juliet sparkles against the dark night, right? So never you write that Juliet hangs in the night, right? So it is kind of, then her beauty is too good for the world. Her divinal beauty has the quality, right, which is too expensive for earthly one. And moreover, I told you, they understood, right, they are not going to be united. Their love is immortal, but they are destined to death. So here Romeo expresses that Juliet cannot die, because nobody can afford Juliet's beauty to be died, right? Next. So her beauty is too expensive, too good for this earthly world. She is too beautiful to die or to be buried, right? So here somewhere, the very faint idea of death, right, of being separated. So all this concept is lying here. Romeo says that she outshines the other women like a white dove in the middle of a flock of crows. I told you, white and black, this juxtapose lies everywhere, right? So what he says, that is here in the depth, if you see, the meaning is that she doesn't stand with the enmity of Capulets and Montagues. She is divinal, she is godly, she stands for peace, right? White means peace, fine? So he says that this is a white dove. Juliet's beauty is like a white dove. And others, that means her associates, her fellow mates, may not understand the quality of her beauty. So in comparison to Juliet's beauty, Juliet's divine demeanor, others are compared with crow. Okay. Then when the dance is over, I will touch her hand with my rough and ugly one. I told you that he feels he's a prince, obviously, right? And even he is, having the enough quality, right? Whether it is in concern with beauty or in concern with smartness. But here I told you that mode of surrender, right? He feels that in comparison to Juliet's beauty, Juliet's cherubic angelic beauty, he stands nowhere. His hands will be obviously rough, right? Rude. And when he has got the opportunity to touch Juliet's hand, right? By that time, he knows obviously that his hands will be rude enough to touch her. Okay. And he says that the last line in the stanza, he says, did my heart ever love anyone before this moment? He is abruptly, clearly denying the love for Rosalind. He says that because he has never seen such beauty ever. So it is no way possible that he has fallen in love before, right? My eyes were liars. He is denying. He says that my eyes lied to me when I felt mere infatuation for Rosalind. So he says that my eyes were liars because I never saw beauty before tonight. This is the beauty, right? This is called the definition of beauty, right? So this is the first one, Romeo. And the second stanza, I told you it is Act 3, Scene 2, Juliet. So it is the balcony scene. It is the most popular scene, right? Juliet is expressing her prodigious love for Romeo, right? She says that come night, come Romeo, you are like a day that comes during the night, right? Here even we can see this juxtapose, this combination, this contrast of black and white. That means here in this enmity, in this feudal family, right? We can see that there is a spark of light. There is a spark of purity, that is Romeo. So black stands for enmity. Black stands for shedding of blood, right? And this one, that is Romeo, Romeo's charisma, it stands for, purity, okay, love, peace. She says, you are whiter than snow on the black wings of Raven. Raven is completely black bird. And she feels that night is like a raven which can spread its wing wide and can fly high and carry Romeo and bring him back to Juliet. I told you this is a two feudal family, and she doesn't believe that anyone she can get by her side for her love. So she prefers to believe in nature, right? So she says that come gentle night, come loving dark night, dark broad night. That dark broad night, it gives the sense of strength, strong one. And when I die, turn him into stars and constellation. That means my death, Juliet's death or Romeo's death cannot ever stop the love story. They want to mark it as the divinal one, as the immortal one, right? She understood that she has to die. Romeo understood that he has to die. Rather, both have to die. But they want to make it forever. The love, the sense of love, the message of love will continue forever, right? So she expects that when she dies, Romeo will transform to star and will be placed in a constellation. So constellation in his image. His face will make the heaven so beautiful that the world will fall in love and forget the night and the forsake garish sun, right? And forget the garish sun. Why she says? Because this is denying the enmity, that means the darker side of night, and some stars will appear forever who will convey the message of love forever, right? So this is the summary you can say. Now if we go for question and answer, we can see here, see the phrase teach the torches to burn bright. What does it suggest, right? Teach the torches to burn bright. So it suggests that her beauty surpasses the brightness of light. That means comprehension 1, question number 1, answer is C. For art too dear, this phrase suggests that the lady, that means Juliet's beauty, is divine, right? It is divine, expensive, divine. So divine we will go for. The measure done connotes for the completion of dance organized by Lord Capulet. This is B. The line did my heart love till now suggests that Romeo feels this is true love. C. Option C we will have to choose. Then the phrase new snow suggests description of Romeo's charm. Okay. Then what do you think the phrase is face of heaven, that is the sky. Okay. Now what similes does Romeo use to convey Juliet's beauty and to what effect, right? So we will have to begin with the introduction. Though as I check your paper, I have never seen that introduction. You might have forgotten that introductory part is obvious, it is mandatory. Okay, so if you don't introduce the author, if you don't introduce the lesson, if you don't introduce the concept, then out of the blue, how do you expect that the teacher could teach and you could secure full marks, right? I have told you many a times, and this time you need to learn and execute. Clear? William Shakespeare, you will have to begin. This is the one of the best creation ever for William Shakespeare. Though when this was Romeo and Juliet was created, it was the very early work of William Shakespeare, but it is one of the most popular work. William Shakespeare, the English poet and playwright, right, and the eminent dramatist. Okay, so Romeo and Juliet is one of the early work of Romeo of Shakespeare, and it is one of the most popular work of Shakespeare. Okay, so this will do. Now in the beginning you will have to write about Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, that is two noble families of Verona. The Capulets and the Montagues were the sworn enemy of each other. Romeo belongs to Montague family and Juliet belongs to the Capulet, right? And as in search for Rosalind, Romeo, like an intruder, he entered to Capulet's palace in search for Rosalind, but he found Juliet and immediately he felt the prodigious love for Juliet. Okay, so this will be enough. And how this star, both are that star-crossed lover, and how he expresses his love. That means which similes Romeo used. That is, the first one is that Juliet's dazzling beauty can teach the torch to burn bright. That means she is brighter than the torch does. Then next is that she hangs like on the upon the cheek of night. That means she is standing against the black background of night, and she is sparkling like a jewel on the Ethiop's ear. So here I need the explanation. You will have to give the explanation, right? That Ethiop's skin is dark and the dazzling jewel sparkles enchantingly on her earlobe. So the same way Juliet's beauty sparkles against the darkness of night. Clear? So this is another one. And she is like a snowy dove, right? While she is dancing on the floor with her associates, with her mates. That is, she is like a snowy dove, as she symbolizes the purity, the divinity. Here she stands for peace, right? And in comparison to her purity, divinity, others are like crows. Okay, fine. So these are the similes used by Romeo to convey Juliet's beauty, right? And to what effect, that is to what extent, that is they understood. You will have to mention here few more things. That is, soliloquy is one word, right? Romeo cannot express directly the love because he knows that he is standing in the middle of the enmity, fidelity, right? So it is the soliloquy. Soliloquy, I told you, that is that dramatic device which is majorly used in the Greek drama, and further it is followed till that. So where the inner emotion is expressed, which the spectator, with the reader, they can hear it. Okay, and through soliloquy, Romeo is expressing his prodigious love, right? He is expressing his immense love, which has been created as he found Juliet on the dance floor, right? And immediately he understood that they are not going to be united ever. Okay, so here we stop. The next is, and how, according to Juliet, would Romeo be immortalized to the world? Juliet is Romeo is immortalized, or Romeo's love, Juliet and Romeo, both love, you can be immortalized. So she says that Romeo is like the day in night. Romeo's charm is like a day in night. That means he is bright, and even he symbolizes the peace, right? Both of them, they belong to the next generation, which wants to bring back the peace, right? For you will lie upon the wings of night, whiter than the snow on a raven's back. So Romeo's charm is like the whiter snow, and that has fallen on the wings of raven, wings of night. Okay, and she says that when they will die, as because they are destined to death, so when they will die, Romeo will be transformed to the star constellation. So forever the people will worship the peace and purity, right? Next is comment on the imagery of night, day, black, white, in the poem. So this is very, very important that I told you right here. One thing that I need to tell you, student, day and night. I told you the significance of day and night. Say the contrast of black and white can be expanded as symbols of contrasting love and hate, youth and age, right? And mainly love and hate, you can say. That is, it brings out the love that emerges between two belonging to the feuding families. Okay, that means loyalty to family and loyalty to love. Both of them, they are loyal to their families, right? And it restricts the, when they want to be loyal to their love, it restricts themselves to be loyal to their families. Got it? So they cannot hear, they cannot listen, they cannot obey their families. Right? If you read it thoroughly, Juliet, she is very good natured, and she always obeys the parents' order. But here there is love toward Romeo has put a ban, put the restriction to be loyal to their families. Okay, and then broad daylight, that means it is broad daylight and darkness. These are, the brightness of true love and brightness of purity, and the darkness stands for the death and the enmity, right? So here I will prepare the answer for imagery night and day, black and white, right? That is highlighting the intensity of love. I have given you 2 points, right? One is white stands for peace, divinity and purity, and another one is enmity, hatred and bloodshed, night. Okay, that means black. And one is loyalty to their family, loyalty to their love. Fine. How, according to Juliet, would Romeo be immortalized to the, the last one is between Romeo and Juliet, whose love is passionate. This is the nice one. I believe that you can understand whose love is more passionate. See, I can't say that you follow me, that was my concept, but the thing is that I believe it is Juliet whose love is more passionate. I will give you some logic, and if you feel just the reverse, you can go for it, but you should be logical in your explanation. See, Romeo, this is the second love, you can say. Okay, Romeo has fallen in love with Rosalind, and he has come here in search for Rosalind, right? So this is the second chance he is taken, and you can say he is kind of fickle-minded, right? When he found the better beauty, he has fallen in love with Juliet, right? And then Romeo couldn't, if you move forward, Romeo couldn't get control over his attitude, and he killed Juliet's brother Tybalt, right? So for that he was sent for exile, right? So all this hazard mainly was brought by Romeo's effort. Okay, but I believe if you don't know the story entirely, you can go for go with these 2 stanzas. So based on these 2 stanzas, it is really hard to say that who is more passionate, right? But I believe that Juliet is more passionate than Romeo in following the love suit, because Romeo keeps on switching one to other, because his intention was Rosalind, then he found Juliet, then immediately he fell in love with Juliet. So this is kind of fickle-mindedness, right? We can say that means lack of stability, whereas Juliet has never fallen in love before, right? And this is her first love, and till death she loved Romeo, right? So in this way you can write your answer. Obviously I expect you to write the answer, and with wishing a good luck to you, I want to close this session. Thank you.